Hey everyone, how's it going today? To most people, you're looking at a pretty rundown WD45 tractor here, but there's something special about this one. You come around here to the back serial number, and it's stamped WD146608. Now if we come over here and look in the Norm Swinford book, my blue shop rag bookmarks, okay, 146607 is the first tractor produced by Allis Chalmers in 1953 for the model WD45 series, and this one happens to be 146608. So basically this tractor is the second Allis Chalmers WD45 off the production line, and boy is it in rough shape. Now, I'm not an expert on Allis Chalmers production, but John Deere, for instance, would pull their first tractor off the production line to use as an engineering sample, and with this tractor it's possible that they pulled the first one off the line to use it for testing, and this one might be the only one that actually went out to a customer. I got no evidence of that or anything. It's something that you'll probably never know. So the story behind this tractor, I was going through Facebook Marketplace looking around for some parts tractors for an Allis Chalmers project I was working on, and I just happened to come across this, and I thought I could use it for some parts. So I went and talked to the guy, picked it up, brought it home, and I set it in my tractor junkyard for a while. And it just happened to be that my son was going around writing down serial numbers to determine which ones we were going to work on next, what parts we had to get, and so forth. And he recorded this number, and I was thinking at the time that it was just another WD45, because I originally saw the bent gear shift here, and that's usually the first sign it's a WD45, because all the tin work, like the hood and the front end, the guy had sitting in the barn at the time. I didn't get that till later on, but essentially I didn't do anything with the serial number right away. I went to go look it up, and it surprised me, being the second one produced. And at that point we figured we better get it closer to the shop and maybe start tearing into this one first over a few of the other ones that we have right now. So right now the engine is pretty much locked up. When I first got this tractor, the guy had it parked in a barn, and he had the hood and the front end and everything torn apart on it. He had the spark plugs removed, and he had these little chunks of canvas stuck down in the spark plugs. I was thinking he was probably trying to break it loose, maybe get it running again, and then just lost interest in it over the years. Unfortunately, did get some water damage on a few things, like this cover right here has some pinholes in it. But I figured I would just get a late model WD45 one and put on there, because essentially they're the same parts anyway. And I don't know how many Allis Chalmers actually stamped out for a production run, but it's possible if I get a late model one that might be part of the original stamp ones that were put on WD45s during the first part of the production, because I'm sure a lot of these parts just carried over. According to the Norm Swinford book, they pretty much just stopped producing the WD and went right to the WD45. One thing that somebody did to this tractor too was they customized this seat right here. They basically cut off the original one and welded this aftermarket one onto the side bracket. They actually did a good job with the weld though. There's a lot of brackets and things that are attached to the fenders and the side of the frame that aren't original, that some guy was customizing it, making it his own. Now that I look at the seat a little bit more, it almost looks like it could be off of a newer Allis Chalmers tractor. Maybe comment down below if you know, but I almost kind of like what they did here. They centered up the seat so that your pedal length or your pedal reach on both sides is the same. Kind of wish they came that way. It always feels like you're sitting crooked. And this might confirm that this is a pulling tractor. It's a little bit egg-shaped there. One bad thing about this, you'll notice that drawbar sitting down because one side of it got broke, and I got to looking a little bit closer, and both sides down here were actually welded up. So I just re-broke the weld when I was trying to move it around. I barely bumped it when I was trying to pull it backwards with the tractor, and it just popped right off there. So that weld wasn't really holding anything at this point. One thing about it too is this tractor actually came with a straight drawbar. It does not have a snap coupler on it. And I believe that didn't actually start coming standard on WD45s until 1954. And I don't recall the serial number offhand, but this tractor, being a 45, still predates the snap coupler being standard on tractors. Especially since it was the second one ever made. But looks like the farmer installed an old Coker grease gun holder. All of the hydraulic hoses are shot, and possibly some of the metal tubes here. Those items will have to be replaced. Manifold's a little cracked, and it looks like they customized something to hold the exhaust on. Even though it's locked up, one thing that I hope is still original on this tractor is this block. And I don't know if anybody out there knows anything about some of these numbers on the side of the block. If you could, post something in the comments for me. I'm hoping this is still the original Power Crater engine that originally came with it, but I'm not 100% sure. I know over the years these tractors have issues and they go get worked on, and nobody really cared at the time that this was the second production tractor. They just wanted it fixed so they can continue using it on the farm. We'll come around to this other side here and we can get another view of the motor. Yeah, if anybody knows what numbers I should be looking for on here, or anything that would indicate that it's the original block or a remanufactured one, I'd kind of like to know. Here was one of the block numbers. It's not too visible with all the grease, but it appears the number's AM385 3, I believe. And then there's a 3 below it. Looks like there might be another number behind here. Looks like maybe -21. If anybody knows what that means, or if that's just a general block part number, let me know. Here's another broken part of the tractor that looks like both the farmer and the pigeons got to. Looks like they broke that in half and it's been wired together. There's probably no fixing this. And this tractor did have a matching set of BF Goodrich Power Grip tires, the 13.6 by 28s. They were a matching set, so I assumed those might be original. And it looks like they were doing some plowing or something because they got them turned around backwards. So what would you guys do with this tractor? Leave it original, patinaed, or fix it up? Do a total restoration. Kind of curious what other people think. I'm kind of leaning towards full restoration on this, being the second production tractor. There really wouldn't be any point in keeping it original because it's pretty well run down at this point. If you enjoy tractors of all types, please consider subscribing to my channel. I'm going to be working on a little bit of everything. Anything from Allis, Chalmers, John Deere, Farmall, Massey Harris, Fords, you name it, probably about anything I can get my hands on. One interesting tractor that I happen to come across over here is a nice original KCH. That's kind of a rare tractor. If anybody's interested in seeing content on that, I'll post a few things on that.